What's up, everybody? It's the Oracle of Elohim. Now, I wanted to dissect this word a little bit. It's in First Corinthians. Because I was listening to a pastor just a few minutes, and then I stumbled across this. Because perhaps why I'm steady going through this, perhaps it's because of something I said. So let me dissect this for a little bit. Okay? So this is First Corinthians verse 5. So forgiveness for the offender. Okay? So say, if anyone has caused grief, he has not so much grieved me as he has grieved all of you to some extent. Not to put it too severely, the punishment inflicted on him by the majority is sufficient. So let's see. If anyone has caused you grief, he has not so much grieved me, meaning he has not so much grieved the Most High, as much as he has me. Not to put it too severely. Is that why the Most High say, let me avenge your enemies? Okay. So the punishment inflicted on him by the majority is sufficient. Now, instead, you ought to forgive and comfort him so that he will not be overwhelmed by excessive sorrow. I urge you, therefore, to reaffirm your love for him, the offender. Okay, let's continue. Another reason I wrote you was to see if you would stand the test and be obedient in everything. Anyone you forgive, I also forgive. And what I have forgiven, if there was anything to forgive, I have forgiven in the sight of Mashiach for your sake, in order that Satan might not outwit us, for we are not unaware of his schemes. So that part where it says, anyone I forgive, the Most High also forgives. So even in light of that, where I've said that I've forgiven my enemies, and not one of you have I seen and heard a sorry from you. So, Divine Supreme, when you decided to destroy Babylon, even though I'm on my platform, but right now I'm talking to the Divine Supreme, okay? And you're just included in the conversation. Even when you sent in the two angels to observe and report, as because I have people who are following me, stalking me, denying me things that belong to me, trying to red rum me, trying to take over my entire life, my entire being. And I have repeatedly prayed and asked you to remove them. But then in the same breath, I say, I forgive them. And then that gave you the right to forgive them too. So then you can't punish them if I say, Lord, can you avenge me of my enemies? And again, I haven't heard an apology from any of these people that have incited a riot against my life and my livelihood. So today, on the 29th of April, 2025, I would like to say, Most High, I want to take my forgiveness back, because I want these people to be I want you to avenge me of them, because they are in hot pursuit where I don't have any peace. I'm always on the alert or the watch, which we are all supposed to be watchful. But there is also where it's written, if any man come to you and ask you for forgiveness and mean it within their heart, which none of you have done, so why am I forgiving you? Because every day you are steadily doing something, and then you have the audacity to come around me when I was in the Keys washing my clothes, and the man sitting up there with his Mason ring on, with your knee, something happened to your knee. And I guess you were trying to cast a spell on me, because you didn't come there to eat. You came there to cast a spell on me. So I'm glad, thank you, Most High, that it didn't connect. It didn't stick. Hopefully you sent it back to that person. However, while washing my clothes, something happened to the service of the washing machine, where it just stopped in mid-wash and said something about the door. So then the owner or the person that worked there had to do something to it. But, it seemed like I seen that man before in a different city that I was in, maybe even Brevard, because I know some of you enemies have scattered. You're trying to cover each end of the earth to do your dirty bidding. And I understand why I'm having to go this place or that place. And I thank God that, He's been keeping my car, because just the other day I was, asking for someone to help me out with Cash App, but like a miracle happened, and I came back from my walk and my car cranked up. And so then I was guided to go further south. And then when I get there, I'm still met with adversity from people from a Masonic coven. So let's all understand what we read, because again, your situation is not mine. Perhaps your person that may have offended you have come to you sincerely and asked you for forgiveness. But I tell you today, none of you have asked me for forgiveness. So shame on me, Abba Yah. Please forgive me in my ignorance for asking for forgiveness for someone who has not asked me. And yet, still today, they are trying to afflict me and red rum me. So now, it is I speaking to Abba Yah and to the universe. I want you to avenge me of my enemies, because I don't. You said you cannot fight your enemies with your own hands. You cannot seek your own revenge. So I'm asking the Most High to avenge me of my enemies. Because every day you are doing something. Every day you are plotting my demise. But by the grace and mercy of the Almighty, it has not happened. So I'm putting this out on the airwaves. You deny me what every other citizen who desires it, who can afford it, and the things that you don't even have to afford, yet I am leery because of how you have organized people to try to harm me. Even still, I have to be very selectful whenever I go to eat out, because I know that you're following me. And it's nothing to go to the back door, make that bribe, bust that move and say, the person that just ordered blah, 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 I want you to do this to their food. Or their drink. Or you can be sitting in the restaurant and, pinpoint my server and then, say to yourself, okay, after they leave her table, I need to go do that, what I came here to do, to try to harm her in a malicious way. So the normal flow of life, where people work for what they want, if they want to go out to eat, they go out and they entrust a cook who should be washing their hands and making sure their cleanliness is up to par with every dish that they perform for a patron. But instead you have demons like you that lurk and want to send something to someone's plate of food. Which, in the old Western days, we see that in the Western movies, that was their, instead of a gunshot, that was their number one point of origin to get rid of their enemy. Right? So, when you think that I'm naive about things, no, I'm not. And like you all should know, it has to be another source, not even the judicial system who might be hiding, helping me behind the scenes. It has to be a pouring of favor from the Most High, because you all know how many is it of you. And mind you, I've been to Lake City, I've been to Alabama for a little bit, I've been to Georgia, I've been to Tallahassee, Gainesville, Ocala, Key West, Miami. I passed through West Palm because I said, because I know, there's a large islander influence there. Although, since Sandra's parents may have some islander in them. So, with her having all these people gang up on me, I'm like, right. And then if you don't speak those people language, that's another barrier. And also, that was also a punishment in the Bible. I read, I can't remember what chapter, but I read that recently, where he was talking about the melanated folk, because we are the only ones that were literally scattered to and fro. Where he said, oh, so you think you're so wise and smart, where you want to speak in another language, as if the person who created you do not understand. Like I said, the sky is his portal to see everything. That's why he's everywhere, because there's not a planet or there's not a city or a state or a country that does not have a sky. So I'm very grateful to the Most High, because unlike the two angels, Rahab and the Most High kept them. Rahab invited them into her home, where I believe she became redeemed from being a prostitute. And I say that to say this. You all, like I said, you know exactly what you're doing behind the scenes that has taken out many others, but yet you still hear the sound of my voice on the 29th of April, 2025. And so that angers you because I'm still here. It angers you because you said to yourself, okay, I want to be a part of this coven group that solicits red rumming to defraud someone out of their assets or their spiritual gifts. And I could be talking to a enormous group of people, individuals in different facets of employmency, meaning I am talking to Hollywood, entertainment. I am talking to producers and actors, singers. Because y'all try to harvest off the little people that y'all see on the internet. Because, there's also a scripture in the Bible. Is it in Numbers or Deuteronomy, where there's a city called Ai? Is it a city, or is he talking about this that I'm talking on? Ai. I will give you the power to destroy Ai. That's what I read in the Bible. So is Ai destroying us? Because we have a lot of talented people who are on the internet, young and old. And unfortunately, some of them are unsuspecting of you vampires and vultures. And when Rahab saved those two angels from the ravages of the town individuals who wanted to just take them over like you all. You just want to have your way with my life that I do not give to you. Period. But for the Most High, if he removes his hand from me, I would not be here, because you all know exactly what you're doing. You know what you're doing behind the scenes. So, Rahab was their, what's the word I'm looking for, Spirit? She was like a peace breaker, a barrier. She put a barrier between them and the ravages in the street, who, like vampires, knew to come to her house because they were stalking and following and could not contain themselves where they came to that woman's house. I'm surprised that they just didn't beat down her door and just, like the movies do when the vampires and the werewolves just want to just come in, they just tear the door down. But for the Most High, who say, no, you're not going to tear the door down. You can be out in the street acting like ravagers all you want. However, those angels were saved by Rahab, and I believe on that day she was no longer anyone's prostitute or taken advantage of by men with her temple. Because she knew enough to say, I want to help these men out of this situation because I see a situation happening. Now, with me, all y'all see is me. That's why y'all keep coming for me. But yet, everything you have tried, it has not prevailed because of the Almighty. And then I told you the other night, before I separated myself from the family, I would be reading in my Bible. And I have to get better with that, but I know I saw it in the Bible. And the Most High spoke it to me. He said, I need for you to get out of the way so that I could do what I need to do. So now when I read this in 1 Corinthians, where you all haven't asked me for any forgiveness, so I redact that on the airway, on AI, before the Most High. Because a brethren, we are not supposed to take into the courts because we're supposed to reason together. But you're not my brethren, first and foremost. And secondly, you're still trying to harm me. You know this. I know this. And you're in an adult body, but acting very much immature. And then you're very much blind, obviously, because you should ask yourself, well, good God Almighty, that's who it is, right? Good God Almighty for grace. What you all doing, what you are doing, and you still have not been successful. But yet you get mad at me and you want to continue to try to be successful. So when I made that video earlier asking you to bring me my things, even Yeshua, when he walked, he had 12 disciples. And when he went off by himself, he was praying to the Father. I don't need to be stuck in my car for me to speak to the Father. What is the issue is being out here vulnerable for the people who are stalking and trying to taunt with their hauntiness in every metropolis that I have been to. It's the same scenario, just different faces. So if anyone was saying, she's not chosen, well, what is it? And I'm not saying that with ego or arrogance. I'm just asking, what is it? And because on my video earlier I said I'm tired. So the Most High knows that I'm tired. He knows this. It's just you mere mortals who have my things. You don't overstand that. My atmosphere, I command my atmosphere to be changed. Yeshua, again, had 12 disciples. Rahab helped the 2 angels. So everyone had some help, right? And for someone to steady have access to me every day, when I know that there's another way. King David went away from his home to fight his battles. His battles didn't come to his home. I mean, not the ones with a war, although he did have battles in his home because Absalom wanted to kill his father, as my children have turned against me. However, if I had an abode, a safe, secure abode, that, the assets that these people stole, their account should be seized so you can cut my check so I can have me a safe, secure abode. Not have them looking at me every day trying to study me. And then the changing of the subject of, oh, you have a divine masculine coming in. Okay, that's neither here nor there. My foundation and my stability and safety and peace of mind is essential. And for another mortal to deny me of this, to try to strip me of my temple of being nourished and kept safe by having a safe atmosphere. But I can't have that because someone is holding up my resources. So, Abiyah, I say to you again, avenge me of these enemies. Because if I don't get my proper rest, then I'm no good for your kingdom here on earth. If I don't feel safety, then I'm still not resting. So that's destroying my temple. And you say if anyone destroys your temple, you will destroy them. So I'm asking, who is it that's holding up my pinnacles? Who is it that has, I'm sorry, I'm trying to, I thought I heard something in the car. But anyway, who is it that's blocking me from success on this earth that I didn't give you my life, my assets? I don't even give you this time that you're wasting of mine. So again, Abiyah, according to your word, these enemies have not asked me for forgiveness. And they are very much still in pursuit of me. Just like Goliath. If you had not destroyed Goliath, Abia. Then the little shepherd boy, King David, he became, that would have destroyed their flock, their means to have resources, to eat, to care for the family. And the same difference here. These people have blocked my means to care for myself securely, to have a safe environment. They just are trying to strip me of my peace, which in this flesh, Abaya, you know what that does. So I need for you to please avenge me of my enemies. And I'm talking about all who are my enemies. You have not discriminated against how you're coming after me and what you intend to do. So I'm not discriminating with who I'm talking to. I'm talking to ALL. I have not done anything to any of you. And because of your lies and those who are sitting in the seat of power, who is allowing this and contributing to the funding to those who you ask to participate or to do things. Because some of these people that I see, I know you have to, give them a little something because their situation is no better than mine. That's why I don't understand how someone sits up there and participate in such foolishness. And you need to really start reading in the book of Numbers as to why the Most High became angry because of his people and their disobedience and their neglect to love one another so that he could bless us with the riches of the land. But yet you angered the Most High and he scattered us. And yet you still have that same demeanor as the people in the days of old. So I'm asking the Abiyah before I came on, which I'm going to ask him now. Abiyah, do you see the same thing that you saw in Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah in these same people that are trying to afflict me with injury? Do you see the same thing, Abiyah? If so, have your way so that your people can evolve and live out their days in peace on your beautiful earth with their families that they love and that they cherish and do the good things by, not like the individuals that say that they were my family, not like y'all. I don't want to live with any of you all. Not like this. You're an enemy. You're a threat. You have caused this riot in my life that has continued. Well, again, I don't know my age, my true age, but, my birth certificate says 55, but, all these lies and scandals that you church group people, because it is written, it says the church shall judge. However, Which church are y'all? Are you the lukewarm? Um, you know, the churches. Is it in Revelations? Yeah, which church are y'all? What are y'all doing? Because unless I did something to you, like in Psalms, it said, if it were I that were doing the things to you that you are doing to me, then I can see the Most High removing his hand from me, where I will go back to the dust. But it's not me doing anything to you all. So if you get mad because I have petitioned Abba Yah to observe and remember Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah in his word, and to search all of our hearts, and to pass judgment between you and me, so that true justice can prevail, so be it. I don't care if you're mad. You have invaded my life, where you have tried to strip me of everything. You don't even want me to have this car. That's why you keep trying to do things or delay or stop me from being able to have resources to fix what needs to be fixed on my car. But I declare today that the Most High will pass the highest judgment on you, because this very thing can destroy my temple, can destroy my spirit, can destroy another person's temple, which everybody, all of us belong to the Most High. He says he loves all of us. Even when we are unfaithful, he is still faithful to love us. That's why he gives us free will. And so when you see me here, sitting here talking to you, after everything you all have done, but yet you still won't stop. So when the prophecies of the days of old start happening, don't think that it is I. I only ask the Most High to observe and assess the situation, because I deserve to be here. You did not give me life, and I ask the Most High not to allow you to take my life. However, if you must continue to try to ruin my life, and I know that because there's so many of you, you're focused on me, true enough, but you're not only focused on me. That's why I want the Most High to pass the highest judgment. And the highest judgment is to, as it is written, the righteous will rejoice when the wicked are no more. We will look for you, and we will not find you. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. I want my portion, Abba Yah. I want my life back. I want a family. I want, and even if I don't have a family, I want my stability. I want control over my life, my goings and comings, without an intrusive vampire demon trying to block me on every hand. And just imagine, Abba Yah, if these people are leaders of our city, town, country, or state. How then can your people get ahead if there's someone above us here that won't allow us to? Because you say we wrestle not against flesh and blood. It's the spirit of a man. Okay, so I am in the flesh, and these others are in the flesh, and they are seen by our eye, or we are hearing of things that they are doing. And some of these things are not favorable for your people to succeed. And that is what we need to address, Abiyah. And Abiyah, I dare not boast up against you, because you are the author and finisher of my faith. However, we do know that the books, there are many books, and some of them have been altered. So help us to discern and to know your word, your ways, by blessing us with favor of your wisdom on high, to reveal the mysteries of the word we read, and to dissect it, rightfully divide the word. So anyway, I'm trying to see what's that noise. I guess something from the trees is, going against the walls or something of the door. But anyway, yeah. So that's where I stand right now. It's just, reading God's words, like I said, for everybody's situation is going to play out differently, because I don't know if there's anyone going through what I'm going through, the extent of it. Although, like I said, I do believe you people are doing something to other people. I do believe that, because your organization announces that. So I'm not the only one that you are doing it to or have done it to. I'm just the only one that you are amazed that I'm still here. And that's the part where you are spiritually blind, deaf, and I guess dumb. Because if you know that you have succeeded before, then ask yourself, why is it that I cannot succeed this time? Who is at play? Who is protecting her? Because it's surely, it is me and my prayers, yeah. And it is because the Most High has his own agenda as well, because he can do that, because he is the Almighty. And yet, you all think that you are mightier than the Almighty. And yet, you don't remember what happened to the story of the one where, okay, they say, was it Michael? He kicked Michael out, which we later call Lucifer. So if that were true, then why do all of you think that you can fight against the Most High's decision to not allow you to kill me? Why? I see what this is. And then you do little dirty things by sending, I don't know what that was, bugs to my home, right? And how many of us know when you live in a car, the space is tight, but the Most High will prevail and show me the way to clear that up. But nevertheless, I still say to whoever is holding my information, I want my information. What makes you think that something is better for me to be out here vulnerable, not getting my rest, unless all of you have decided to take the route less desired? I don't know. But what I do know is if there is an investigation and I'm a woman with a womb, a woman who gives life, and with you having me in this stressful situation that I have already been in from early childhood, and as I'm aging, you're keeping me in this situation because I have asked on many videos that I know it's a whole bunch of you tuned in. And I'm not sure where the LGBTQ fits in with this. I'm not sure where you fit in with this dynamic that's these attacks that's happening with me. Although I do remember that it was a girl group one time that was putting the energy weapon on, in our ceiling, our attic where we were living, and you were attacking me with an energy weapon. It doesn't matter how you identify. What matters is what you do as an individual. And that is what the Most High will judge you by. Because at the end of the day, as all of us are born, whether you are a set of quadruplets, you will come out of that woman's belly, even if they do a cesarean section. The doctor will pull the babies out one by one. So therefore, you will stand singular when you go before a judge in the flesh and the Most High. So I don't know why you think your group is going to save you when judgment comes about. So that's what you do need to think about. Because your group can't. I don't care how many it is of you. You are not mightier than the Creator. You might be mightier than I if the Most High takes his hand from me. But just because it's masses of you, a high volume of you, was it a lot of people in Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah? I think it was, if he said, I'm going to destroy the whole city and the townsmen and everything that they owned. So, Noah, you build your ship and take with you blah, blah, blah. Lot and your family, you go. But then, Lot, wife, she wanted to look backwards. See, I'm trying to move forward. Can I have my things? Can I move forward from this foolishness of these adult people who really need to be imprisoned for your actions and how you are a detriment to the well-being of those who are trying to just live on this land productively and leave other people alone that are not bothering our household, our finances, our children, our loved ones, our well-being, our foundation. So why is it that you thought, even in the Bible, if you stole something, it's better for you to cut off that hand? Although it was metaphorically speaking, but I don't know, was it metaphorically speaking? Because, in the Old Testament, those punishments came swiftly. Stoning, and all this evil eye, it's better for you to pluck it out, right? So, God gives you examples to follow, but yet you steady want to be in that wide road. I choose to stay in the narrow, straight way, and you don't like that. That's not my problem. I'm here to be kind and loving and do the will of the Almighty. And so when I have an enemy, because I serve the Almighty, then I expect the Almighty to fight my battles. Because if I die with him, I live with him. So, I prefer to be on the good side of the Almighty than to be on the wrong side of him. And that is also favorable for me because you have not been able to succeed in what you truly would like to do to me because of the mistakes that you find yourself being found out about. I just, call righteous judgment. I want this judicial system that is in place. If there's an investigation and you watching me and watching them pursue me relentlessly, like I ain't inviting none of y'all on my phone. None of y'all to trail me from city to city or state to state or make phone calls to the people that you may know and they say, hey, I need for you to keep an eye out on this person. I need for you to do this, that. this or that to her. But yet, I'm the problem. I don't think so. And if you cannot see what is the problem, then you are definitely a problem. And the Most High should observe Sodom and Gomorrah and Babylon. He asked Noah, or was it Lot? Or maybe it was both. Can you find me at least one or two that can be saved from my wrath that I do intend to do against Babylon? So I guess he was able to save his family, right? Well, not the wife, because she turned around. But anyway, yeah. So, I'm asking him to observe today, because I know it's not only me here that is trying to live and do the right thing and be obedient to the Almighty. I know it's not only me. And I know that you all are targeting other people who do truly serve the Most High. So I'm asking for all of us, for him to pass judgment, because you are an imminent threat to our well-being, and we deserve to be here. You, on the other hand, are standard when you choose to be disobedient. So anyway, that's all, and that's it, what the Spirit laid on me. So just be mindful when people say you should forgive, because there's a lot of scriptures that in some books say somewhat the same thing, but then says something else in another. So that's why he said, ask for the Holy Spirit to reveal to you. And right now, none of my enemies have asked for forgiveness. And I need for the Most High to move you out of my way, because I do not deserve to be afflicted by your silly, malicious games any further. So this is not in your face, but it is in your face, because you're looking at my face on this video, and you're hearing it from my voice, not nobody else's. I'm asking the Most High to avenge me of you, so that I may live and not die at the hands and the likeness of you who are trifling. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go. No one should have to endure this, and no one should have to go to their local police department for you to try to laugh it off, because you possibly have been bribed to turn the other cheek. Well, in this human form, all of you can conspire to turn the other cheek, but in this flesh, and my spirit says to call on the Most High to avenge me of my enemies. That is what I intend to do, and that's what it is, and not what it ain't. So anyway, everybody, well, not everybody, to the chosen, to the ones who do the right thing and not out here causing turmoil or havoc to another woman, man, boy, or girl. I send peace, love, and light to you.